You're listening to the Save the Date podcast, where we talk all things weddings, jewellery and romance. With love from Cullen Jewellery.
Hello and welcome back to the Save the Date podcast. I'm Sheridan.
And I'm Juliette, and we are so happy you're here.
Today we have a very exciting episode. So we are joined by Dario from Cannoleria. Dario, welcome to the podcast and thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We are.
Yes, I'm very excited. My first podcast. So.
Awesome.
Very excited to have you.
Yes, we are. Don't worry, we're still kind of new to the game as well. So
It's great.
we're in it with you.
Fantastic.
So to kick us off today, can you tell us about yourself, tell us about Cannoleria and what you guys do?
Well, Cannoleria is, as the name say, we make cannolis. We try to make the best cannoli we can in as many spaces we can. We make traditional Sicilian cannoli. So they are ricotta based. We don't make any custard. We honestly try to keep it very simple. I like the idea to have one product and trying to push it as a vertical we can. Again, I'm a man, we do one thing at a time. So we're trying to do one thing done well, and that's all it is. We started the business with Giorgio from That's Amore Cheese. That's when I always been a chef all my life, when I was 14. And I was the head chef at Thomastown, where they actually start when they have the factory at That's Amore. And we start to have, we have some extra ricotta. What can we use? How can we use it? And that's when Giorgio shared with me is a family recipe. Again, everywhere in Sicily is different. I don't know if you ever heard, but in Italy, everyone does one thing and they do the best, no matter where you are. We're always fighting over within Italians. So, his recipe that his mom used to make, or the mom still makes, is very simple. It's just very good ricotta, a little bit of cinnamon and sugar. That's all. A little bit of pistachio, that's all you need. And that's really where we start. We start by making cannolis. We start to doing events. Then, again, I guess my background is from Abruzzo, so I don't have the traditional attachment to a product. So the idea was, what else can we do with this? Is it possible? We can't make we don't want to do custard because then you have the problem of the eggs, pasteurized. There was so many other different things. So we said, well, if we put cocoa with ricotta, we have a chocolate cannolo. Yep. And of course, from Giorgio, the Sicilian, no, we always did it this way. For me was, well, if you want, you can't just rely on your Italian or people that know the tradition. You want to try to open it up to as many people we can. And that's honestly how we started. We were lucky enough to work under That's Amore. Giorgio literally gave me as much space as I needed, how much, bands, forklift, everything that I could use. And that's why I guess we were able to grow so quickly. And then in 2019, at the end of 2019, we signed a lease for Heidelberg West. It's our HQ, because 2020 was our year. I guess COVID happened. Yeah. But the idea is always the same. It's literally, we want that when you go to our shop, you have the best cannoli we can make. We definitely know, if you see even our marketing, we never say we are the best, but definitely the best we can do. In different locations. We want that if you go to Preston Market, or if you go to High Point, or to South Melbourne, or any of our shops, you get the same flavor, the same system, the same box, even the same way the guys, they say, good morning, how are you? You get treated exactly the same way. And this has always been our focus.
Yeah, that consistency across like all of your different locations is so important, I think, for your client base as well. It's something that we are really kind of proud of as well, is that no matter which showroom you go into, in the same way, you'll get treated in the same
way. We try to do, we know that every, like a market has a very different approach that maybe a High Point will have, or Chadstone has. But the essence is the same. You know, we're proud Italian. We're proud to be in Australia. So you can find. Like we did flavors. They had Vegemite because works. You know, sweet and sour works extremely well. And we don't trying to invent the wheel. We're just trying to do something well over it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned, did you start out with events and then move into the stores?
We started to do events more like on a level like public events. Then we saw the opportunity. There was a lot of big players in Melbourne with coffee carts and gelato cart. And I said, wow, this is fantastic, but it could be just as good doing it with cannolis. And believe it or not, I could be saying something wrong, but there was not many people doing it, or if they were really, really little. So that's when we actually got a cart directly from Italy to do like events with cannoli, and then we tweaked it a little bit. You know, the cart himself was like 2 meter wide. There was 400 kilos. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna get killed here. It's hard. So we start to build our own, always with the idea those beautiful cards. They had a beautiful round shape. They really reminds us of the Sicily, of the Italian style. So that's something that we kept. And then we just go as smaller we can because you know, the doors. You wanna try to be able to squeeze a cart everywhere. And that's exactly what I guess what pushed us to be as many places at the same time.
Awesome. So I really want to talk about weddings.
Of course, that's what we're here for.
Exactly. So for the listeners, if you haven't seen this viral video of Cannoleria, I would be very surprised. But what, I guess, prompted your move to go into weddings specifically?
Well, and when you have a cannolo, as a general rule, you always have few people around the table, so it's always a festivity. My first, again, even if we know from Sicily, but my first memory of having a cannolo was maybe on a Sunday. As an Italian, you would go to a house of someone and you bring a box of different pastries, and cannolo was always there. The only difference that we had, I guess, we had the skill just to do one thing, and we picked the cannolo. So you have the cannoli when it's a festivity, and to be part of really the special day of a person, the most beautiful day, for us was perfect. And we did think, what else would you want? A beautiful cannolo. They will come up with a lot of weddings. They have already the cake, but the cannolo, and have the cannoli filled there. And we saw as well some downside that we see from other carts, from other things, where there was always a lot of lines, a lot of different, I guess, issues. For us, we said, well, we can fill it up cannolis, and then we just very quick. And that, for me as well, or for us, I should say, to go in events, that was the best marketing. Because I come to the wedding that you are invited, I come to your wedding, and if we do a good job, that we try again, we try always to do, it's the best business card. And then you go to an event that is 500 people, where out of those 500, 300 will have cannolis, and it's free. So better, it's free for them, for us. But so what better option? So you go somewhere, someone show up, you have a cannolo, you don't have to pay for it. So you really have the perfect combination to see what we actually do. And you'd see it many times. We do your wedding, and then maybe your best friend that was there, we do the wedding, and we keep seeing always the same people. And then there is people that comes to the shop to say, you did my wedding, or last night you were at my cousin's wedding. So even there, the brand gets recognized in more parts. And I guess that was part of it. To be there, I really thought that was the quickest way to get as many people as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have a favorite part, obviously, other than the fact that it's helping your business grow so, quickly and substantially, but do you have a favorite part about weddings or any standout moments that's happened?
Well, for me, I think when we arrive, everyone is like, oh my God. It just
Excited.
feels so... you really feel the excitement in the room, and that's definitely the best part. And again, you are. I know, probably it would sound cliche, but my business, my people, my brand, all our team can do something in your most important day.
Yeah.
That could be Christmas. Like for me, if someone picks the cannoli for Christmas, I think, wow, this is probably the most important table of the year for the Italians. I'm talking about my background. So that's, I think makes me feel very humbled of what we do. And that's why for us it's very important that we do our best to accommodate, to make people happy, to make sure that everyone is fed. When we leave, there is always cannoli left. We're not gonna make just enough cannoli. We want to make sure that we're gonna be there for an hour, and then if in an hour and a half you want a cannoli, there is cannoli there. Sure.
Yeah, beautiful.
The video that you saw is a little bit different.
Yeah.
The video. Sorry, that was the next question.
No, that's okay.
Go. Otherwise, I talk a lot. You go.
No, feel free to keep talking.
Well, the idea for the video that you saw is to have this roaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because again, with the cart, we are on a corner. We are in an area where we don't bother anyone, and of course we're not close to the dance floor because OHS, all the things we have to be careful of. With the roaming, we can actually go to the people.
Yeah.
So that you have some more like an elderly couple that doesn't really want to stand up, or someone that just say, well, I'm too tired, I don't want to go anywhere. So we actually go to the table. So the approach is completely different. And we make sure that every single person has 1, 2, 3 cannoli without any issue. And the idea himself, again, we do a lot of events. And we saw the guys doing the oysters. With a belt around
yes.
there.
Yeah.
I said, man, we can do something like that. Like cannoli, it's simple. Like it's literally you have to do. We had to tweak a few things. We had to do the without the garnish because otherwise it gets messy.
Yeah.
But again, the approach is exactly the same. I thought it was so clever. You go there, you got everything that you need in a little box, and this is the way we approach it. So again, I guess I'm good to copy.
Make it your own.
You're not copying, you're just taking inspiration.
Hey, put it away.
You didn't copy the oysters. So
No.
you
We don't do oyster flavor cannoli. No.
Well, talking about flavors, what flavors do you have for couples to choose from for their weddings?
Well, we have a range. Literally, there is a flavor of the week every week.
Okay.
So we have 4 flavor. There is our basic, there is our Sicilian, there is cinnamon and ricotta. We have our chocolate, there is 80% cocoa and ricotta. We have our coffee that we call it tiramisu. There is a coffee base, so they have a beautiful tiramisu flavor. And then we have a citrus. That normally is limoncello or blood orange, depends what's the way we rotate. For then for our guests, we give them a list of the most famous flavors and something that can make everyone happy. Because if there is an Italian background, they will always go for a Sicilian, for a limoncello, because that's in their culture. If there is a lot of kids, they will always go for a chocolate one because they want to make the kids happy. Or if there is an Australian background or any other background, they go more for a Tim Tam, or they go for a gay time. Lately it's been very popular. There is a lot of them, they pick custard. So we did say that we don't make any custard. So to upset everyone, we actually make a ricotta flavor. So it's a ricotta based, but tastes like custard.
Oh, cool.
So it's a custard flavored ricotta. Everyone's like, is it custard or is it ricotta? Both. So that's again something that is very traditional, because in the end in Australia, even if the tradition, the Sicilian one is the ricotta, but everyone knows the custard. So again, for us, it's we want the best that we can make, as I said before, but then we have to as well accommodate everyone else what they want. Otherwise, business is not gonna go.
Yeah, that's it.
Can you do custom flavours if someone was to request something?
We do. Yeah. If it's something that we did before, or if there is a trial, we have. I would call a few limits. We try not to use any. Fake coloring, things like this. So sometimes, you want something bright pink. Yeah, is within the limits of to keep it as natural as possible. But we can make everything that we can. Yeah.
Yum.
That's like, you said gay time, and I was like, whew, you got me. Tim Tam and gay time. You went Australians. Tim Tam and gay. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and the game is there. It's so beautiful to share our tradition, but you can reach so many other different cultures. We do Indian weddings where they say, this reminds me of this sweet that when we were kids. So in the end, look, cannoli is a crunchy shell and a soft sweet filling. Go every culture, there is something that has a crunchy shell and a soft filling. A taco is a canola, really. They didn't make it. That's exactly the way I see it. Because I'm not connected with a tradition. I don't have the boundary of a tradition, but I've got more the chef view that say, okay, what can we do with this? How can we improve it? How can we reach a different, string of every different person? I guess that's what's been our push so far.
Yeah, awesome. So for any couples listening that want to book, what is the process of booking you for a wedding?
Well, we have I would say that I'm skilled enough to do it all, but I'm not. We have a lot of people that works within the company. We have the first thing you do, you go on our website, where there is a questionnaire where we ask you all the questions that we need. That saves times on our hand, but on your hand as well. So you tell me already where is the wedding? Can we reach it? Or how far? How many people? If all the details that we need to streamline as much we can the system. Normally you would deal with Gulven. He is the guy that looks after all our events, our MN manager, and. From there is literally just making sure we have the date, making sure we lock down all the flavors, the time, and everything else. So we're trying to have a system that is as simple as possible, because we know that on a wedding we are just a drop. We are the drop at the end of the night. So we have I think through the years we have a very seamless system at the moment.
Awesome. And how far in advance would people need to look at booking you for an event?
Look, we have multiple cards, so even if we have already booking, let's say for this weekend, we can always try to squeeze something in, but as a general rule of thumb, at the moment we work up to 6 months in advance. I saw the other day there was a booking for 2026. I hope I'm alive by then.
You'll start getting those now for sure.
So for us, it's the earlier you book, I guess you get the best pick. Sometimes we have to adjust a little bit the time. Maybe there is already another wedding. We say, we can do it by instead 10 o'clock, we can be there at 10:30. So the more time you give us, I guess you get the first choice on everything. There is a cart that is, we have a cart that is white, branded Cannoleria. We have a cart that has all our colors. So it really depends. If it's already booked, no matter, for me, the first person that is booked is always a get best pick. And then, we try to accommodate as much as we can.
Yeah. That is good to know.
All right. Okay, so now the interesting part for me.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about how you actually go about making the cannolis? And because I know you obviously you pipe them fresh. Is that what you do? So like, do you make the crusts and the filling separately, and then you bring them separately to the venue? Yeah.
So the cannoli. The cannoli shell and the ricotta is like a bad relationship. As soon as they get together, we don't have much time.
No.
So what we try to do is we make the ricotta. All our ricotta comes from Del Amore cheese. As was said at the beginning, Giorgio is still our partner, so we try to get the freshest ricotta we can, and gets worked in our facility in Heidelberg West. There gets flavored, gets worked. We have Alessio is our production manager. He has all the recipe. He literally is still a very one man that looks it after all. So he tastes it, makes sure everything is okay, and the product gets bagged. So it gets sealed in a vacuum bag, and then the cannoli shells. We have some cannoli shells. We have a producer that makes it for us, so we don't actually make our own shells, but we have someone that makes it for us. We're not there yet, but we will. Probably next time I'll be on the podcast, I would say I can say that. And we have some that comes from Italy as well, because the demand is so much that we just can't keep up. The shells normally have up to 6 months of shelf life, and the ricotta up to 4 weeks of shelf life. It gets dispatched to our shop between Thursday and Friday. So it's always fresh ricotta going in our shops. And we fill it up the cannoli fresh. We have a system that we actually write it down every batch of cannoli we do. So we give the cannoli to the customer within 2 hours that we filled. We started with the idea to fill them all on the spot. We just couldn't keep up. We were losing a lot of sales because people said, "Oh, it's going to take 35 minutes." Because someone can come and want one cannolo, it's a minute, it's okay, done. But if someone wants a box of 12, a box of 36, a box, you just get stuck. So we actually developed this system that works very well, because that way we don't have to refrigerate the cannoli. So you get it like you get in Italy, room temperature. It's not too cold. Sometimes if you have a cannoli that's been in the fridge, you feel the moisture when inside the cannoli. And when you bite it, if it's too cold, it actually hurts your teeth because it's too cold. Instead, by doing this, the cannoli has a beautiful temperature, and the shell, it's always crunchy. That's why our motto is stay crunchy. So we're trying to make always the cannoli as crunchy as possible. So you buy it within 2 hours, and then you still have 2 hours before you can put it in the fridge. And then, honestly, the longer you wait, the better chance that you're gonna get soggy cannoli. So we have a few tricks that we implement in our shops. So we have a chocolate line cannolo, so that by having the barrier of chocolate inside the cannolo, it stays crunchier up to 2 days. Or we have a cannoli kit. Cannoli kit is pretty much, we give you everything you need to make the cannoli, and you literally just pipe it at home. So you have the full experience, because you got the cannolo, you fill it up the 2 that you want to eat, and then the rest you can have later on. So there is different ways that you can approach it.
Oh, amazing.
Sounds so good. You mentioned earlier about like toppings. What kind of toppings do you have? I know nothing about
the little
cannoli,
candy fruit. Did you do?
I'm learning
Yes,
everything.
we have to do something. Lucky we brought some. At least we can school you. Look, every flavor has its topping. So let's say the tiramisu, we have the coffee ricotta, and then we put the savoiardi, like ladyfinger in English, where at the end. So the idea that you have your ladyfinger and the tiramisu cream like you will have on a tiramisu.
Yeah.
And then it all depends what flavor we do. They have the chocolate that we put the white chocolate, so you got the double chocolate going on, or the limoncello we put the zest that's been pickled in sugar before as a garnish. So really, if you're looking at what's a cannolo, for us normally there is three parts. There is the shells, the ricotta. Some of the ricotta sometimes has a swirl, so it has some jam inside. Like this week we had the donuts, cinnamon donuts, and they actually had the jam like you will have in every other place that you have jam. Outside we actually put the crumble of donuts. So it really depends what we're doing for flavor. The approach that we have is a bit simpler. We don't put any garnish on the actual cannolo. It's just easy to transport. It's easier to make the towers for us. So definitely we have an approach. I would say a bit more a traditional approach, but with an innovative feeling. That's for sure.
So with the like the roaming cannoli, they don't have the toppings?
No, because we found that it's very messy.
Yeah.
And in a beautiful wedding with your beautiful dress, the last thing we want be dirty. So, but again, you're still having the whole experience. We do believe you're not gonna miss anything, even more because the cannoli is just literally it's filled in front of your eyes. So I think for the roaming, the focus is on look how fresh this is. Straight in your mouth. And that's the different approach.
Is that the same with the cart at the weddings as well?
The cart instead has the garnishes.
Okay.
Yes, the topping.
Cool.
But again, because then everything gets pre-filled. We arrive there. We normally arrive an hour before, 45 minutes to an hour, depends the side or the sides of the wedding, and we pipe. And so we have the hour before, but still you get cannoli that is filled within the hour. So it's still very, very fresh.
Cool. And I'm sure, like, are you filling that pretty much at the site where you're going to be handing it out? So people are still seeing.
Oh, mate.
I imagine people would be preparing to line up anyway.
Not yet. Where is it? Oh, it comes the little kid. Comes the little kid. Can I have one? And then you give one. And say, oh, then comes back. Can I have another one? I say, oh, you give this cannoli to me. You give me 10 times. So, and that's the fun part as well. Is to have those people say, please, can you have one? So, mate, just wait a few minutes. You're gonna get it. Don't worry, we're not gonna go anywhere. But it's funny to see the anticipation. It's incredible.
The excitement.
I can imagine. That would be. I can imagine being at a wedding and seeing that. I'd be like, first in line.
Ready to go.
And that's sometimes, we arrive when we're doing the speeches and you see everyone focus on the speech. So, it's cool. Again, it's to bring something that is very traditional to a wedding or to a party, to an event. It's fantastic.
Awesome. So is there anything that you've seen a couple do other than having a roaming cannoli cart that you thought was really like smart or unique at a wedding?
Look, what we see lately is as well to have the burradas at the weddings. I saw one, they had a beautiful table with all burradas, was very cool. Again, I'm pushing a little bit the water to my side because we do have a burrada bar as well. But it's definitely something that... I think the whole idea to activate in a wedding, it's beautiful. I saw a beautiful cake just be made in front of the people. I thought, wow, this is fantastic. So it's all about, again, the idea as well with the cannoli cart. You don't want to take it off the focus from the bride or the groom. But I guess after a while, if there is a bit of distraction, that helps as well. So there is a lot of there is a cannoli, and there is always something I think the more you can activate in a wedding, the more as well you break a little bit the days.
Yeah.
I think it's in Italy now not anymore, but you have like 20 course and you start with fish and then you go with meat. Now it doesn't work anymore. So I think this approach works very well.
Yeah. I think, like you said, you don't want to take the attention off the couple, but sometimes the couple might not want all the attention on them anyway. So
after a while, you want a break.
You want a bit of a break, yeah.
I agree.
Having
It's
something
good
like
fun
that
as well.
perfect.
Something like that at the end of the night.
And
after you've
makes
had
it
a
so
few
memorable.
drinks, it's just the perfect little...
Yeah. Well,
Cannolo, that's it.
we spoke about having like midnight snacks a couple of episodes ago, and you mentioned like you can show up at 10:30 and that's like perfect midnight snack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
freshly piped
definitely.
cannoli.
We always work with, we don't have a limit of time.
Yeah.
We can do like literally from the morning till night. There's no problem.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Amazing.
So lucky last question. What is your biggest piece of advice for our listeners who are currently planning their wedding?
Well, one thing that I see more and more is a lot of couple worries about the guests. That's great. You have to worry about the guest. But in the end of the day, it's your day. So, if you have, for example, cannolis, there is 10 people that are gluten-free, don't worry about them. Every cannoli anyway. Or organize a gluten-free cannoli with us.
Yeah.
I think you have to do what I guess makes you happy. And the last thing you want is sometimes we see you see these weddings where they try to I can't dance. When I got married, they say, "Oh, you want to dance?" No way. I'm gonna embarrass myself. Yeah, but everyone else does it. Yeah, I will not. Yeah, because again, you have to do what you feel comfortable with. And if, of course, cannoli is in your string, great. Don't do it just because everyone else do it. Pick a flavor that you like, that you will enjoy it. And because we always make sure that you're gonna have cannolis on your table as well. More than worry what everyone else will like.
Yeah.
Again, if you hang enough around Italians, we always complain anyway. So whatever you do, you're gonna have a complaint. So I think my piece of advice will be there: just to make a day that you will enjoy, and then everyone else will enjoy it. And whoever didn't, bad luck. Let's see what they do at their wedding.
I love that. I think that
amazing.
is amazing advice.
Great advice.
Okay, so can you please let our listeners know where they can find you?
So on Instagram, you see it's Cannoleria by Amore. On TikTok at the moment, we're very strong as well. Is Cannoleria official, and we come up with a lot of new ideas. We're actually working a lot of new videos. And everything around the market is thanks to Danny, our marketing manager. She been with us for 6 months. Feels like 10 years for her anyway. And she really took our social to a different level. And that's what it's all about. For me, I could have a good idea to put some cannolis on a tray and go around, but that's all what it is in the end. But the team that is behind, for the events, the production, even just the accounting, they make sure that your money gets taken from your bank so we can do the event. So it's definitely a teamwork, and that's what I guess it's our winning recipe for Cannoleria.
Beautiful. Well, we will have everything linked in the show notes for you all so you can click straight through to Cannoleria's socials. But thank you, Dario, so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
I've certainly learnt a lot about cannoli that I didn't know before.
Yes.
And I'm sure our listeners have as well. So thank you.
Have a great day. See ya.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Save the Date podcast. We hope you learned something new. And if you're currently planning your wedding, congratulations, good luck and have fun.
If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you follow or subscribe and leave us a review wherever it is that you're listening.
Make sure to come and connect with us on our socials at the Save the Date podcast and join our Facebook group, the Save the Date community. We hope you have a wonderful day or night, and we'll be back with another episode next week. Bye.
Bye.